Connemara is where we're going here. Don't be fooled by the Genji. Water is just, engaging, dreams of the past. Not going to be the case here.
Always wants to go into that Genji, but sadly, right now, Genji just not the pick.
When you want to go Genji, but you realize you got to go Brigida. Or no, actually,
or Sombra.
Sombra, it's a legitimate pick here, especially on Assault.
Well, actually, I think Water was just staying for the Scout. They were waiting to pick, because depending on the composition, Water would probably stay on the Sombra, but they see the 2-3 mirror, so they're going to 2-3 mirror.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think they'd probably put Dalton on Sombra if they had to here, but instead, Legion going to run 3-3, and they just quickly rotate off to the right side. Bermuda doesn't do a whole lot to stop him.
Oh my goodness, I thought Water was going to pick there for certain. He looked like he wanted to take a fight. He was a little bit slow in the rotation, but he manages to get through. Legion now moving towards the point, but something to know from as the Fire Strike, the swing damage from Uptake, already 70% to Shadow.
Yeah, it's looking pretty decent here for the defense of Bermuda. I mean, yes, they let Legion up and around, but if they can get a quick shatter, that changes everything. So Legion for now, rotating around, just probing for weakness, and they get Shu very, very low here. It's good poke damage coming in from Legion, but will they be able to capitalize? Shu's starting to get healed up, and now the Legion dive on in. They seize the initiative, but Dalton just gets picked off. The counter engage from Bermuda, it's a lot stronger. Umte holding on to the shatter, but likely won't have to use it.
No, will definitely not have to use it there. Bermuda getting the much better counter engage. So this is going to be a cleanup here for Bermuda. He has the shatter, Panker has the shatter. They've relatively equalized those ults. I think the most important thing to watch is that Bermuda will probably look to rally aggressively and build up this grab for Bermuda, maybe even use it, because they do have those advantages.
Bermuda going to hang here in the courtyard. Umte, Earth Shatter in reserve, and I don't think he's going to be too shy about trying to use it here. One thing he has to be aware of, though, Panker has the same on the other side.
Now Legion looking to make the swap.
Oh, nice
Great
boop!
boop!
They look for the boop shatter. Umte, though, can't get the shatter off, but they still get watered down, and that actually could be even better for Bermuda.
Didn't even have to use any other ult besides the rally at all. Off the boot from OG, they use the rally, clean up those frags. That is one of the benefits of holding the choke so aggressively. You also saw Shu was sitting in the corner here on the left building looking for a boop as well.
That was really remarkable from OG. I mean, remember, this is the previous patch. This is before knockbacks got wildly buffed in the current live patch.
So now Legion moving back in. They do now also have a slight ult advantage since Water still is going to be coming up on that rally first, but they don't have it fully realized.
Umte, under heavy pressure, backs out, gets healed. Graviton can be invested here. Bermuda all in. Shu, the self-destruct up to the sky, and it's big! Takes down 2. Umte gonna be getting the rest. In fact, the self-destruct got the mech as well, so well executed by Bermuda, and now they are flirting with the idea of getting a first-point hold.
And they only had to commit the bomb combo there. Legion, I think, maybe a little overconfident in their bubbles to keep them alive there, considering Ludwig did not have the beat. Generally, if you want to survive the combo, you must have a perfectly timed barrier as well, but Ludwig was only 80% when it happened. So now Bermuda, they're still firmly in control. They removed Trance from the lineup. Wolf would use that Trance in the fight, so they have to feel confident. As look how aggressive Umte is.
Well, it's aggressive, but the shatter doesn't hit anyone. Now, under heavy shield pressure, under heavy HP pressure, the Graviton Eden, though! Shu doing a decent job, but it's not going to be enough. Even with the grab gone, Legion, they just had too much of an advantage from Bermuda not landing the shatter.
I mean, really, I think that was Panker just keeping the Pizza Demon on the ground. Pizza Demon on the ground could not trance. No trance was available. So without the Transcendence, you can't sustain. You can't live through the rally. So Legion gets all odds, even with Bermuda, I think, in a fight they should have won. Panker Shatter opens it up.
One great thing for Bermuda here is that, win or loss, Shu's stock is going up dramatically from this game right now.
So now Bermuda going to be on the defense here for the last group, close to grab. As Legion are looking to push, they do have double support up, but have to be worried of the grab.
Legion is going to casually go forward here through the top. Bubble used early. Barrier going to be invested, so Legion, again, fighting tooth and nail. So is Bermuda. Bermuda does not want to give up the high ground easily. A lot of times teams will drop off earlier. Instead, they transcend, but they don't get a whole lot off the transcendence. And Dalton very well could have grabbed before Pizza even has it back.
They really don't, but the thing is that the crux of the fight here is going to be Bermuda's own combo. Can they get combo in time? Can Shu build a bomb? Because Bermuda, they have it first, and there's no beat anymore for Ludwig.
Graviton going to be coming out here first from Bermuda. Going to be answered by Transcendence back on the other side for Legion, but Water's down. Umte able to do enough burst damage to him in the middle of the grab. Legion now down to 5, and they have to ask themselves, do they want fight here? Panker, shield, gonna get broken. Panker says, let's go. Gonna be knocking 2 to the ground. They get Ultimate down on the back side, but Bermuda, they fight back evenly, and now this fight not really winnable for Legion, even as they get pickoffs.
They are getting the pickoffs, but Bishu will go down soon. Wolf is down. Blood is going to have to leave now. And look at the stagger that's going to happen onto Bishu. He's running towards the end of the map there. Going to jump off. And Bermuda, despite losing high ground, despite not getting a ton of value, this stagger is so long. As he gets back into mech, can he leave? Is he going to jump off?
No, I think he just uses the mech because it's harder to body block the mech.
I don't think that, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if he just gave more ult charge to Ultra Web or not there.
He probably did.
So questionable play, perhaps. So now Legion gonna have to regroup. Bermuda still holding his high ground here. Gonna be coming up on that grab soon. They do still have bomb for shoot.
Legion looking like they're gonna be going high ground again, kind of debating whether or not they wanted to swap command. And no, they just go directly for high ground. Contender, a lot of pressure down the 100 HP, forces out the barrier for Bermuda.
This is not a great barrier for Bermuda.
No, they did because Umte was about to die.
For sure, but this is not good overall in the scheme of the fight.
Oh no, it puts them at a very tough spot in ult economy. Now Legion just poke up here from the top. It's a good position for Wolf to get a Transcendence up. Now they're going to rotate around, go from the back. Dalton looking to land the grab. Rally going to be used here by Bermuda. Instead, they're going to go for the grab first, and I'm not quite sure where the grab is.
It's in spawn. Guru spawns, grabs. He spawn grabs, catches water. So now, Bermuda, they're still fighting here on the point, but they're getting these frags. I don't think Legion is not winnable.
No, Legion, I'm a little bit surprised how they went for the long wraparound to the back. I feel like they could have just built ult and went in from high ground, but they wanted to be a little bit sneakier for it and didn't get much for it.
Well, rotating through the spawn doors means that you can sort of try to remove the back line for Bermuda. You want them to go to the point. They don't have the advantage of the spawn doors anymore and that slight height differential. But Guru just dropping the surprise grab at the spawn door underwater was definitely a really interesting play. I think really was the fight turn.
So Legion going to be going up here to the high ground once more. Peach, even though it does have Transcendence, this can still be big. Dalton going forward. I think he knows it. Graviton up. Watered down, though, early. So even if this works out, it's not decisive for the Legion. They move in off the ground. They get Umte. Panker going to be dropping the Shatter. Pizza Demon and Shu going to be bearing the brunt of it. But both still alive here. Guru builds another grab. They get Panker off of it, and Bermuda, they're going to defend here once more. Legion, they have only one attack left, and that's if they're lucky. They need to die now.
They need to die right now. They will be dying right now. And unfortunate for Legion is they committed all their big ults in that fight. They won't have grab. They won't have bomb. They won't have shatter. There's not even a beat either. So they have extremely limited resources to work with, considering that Bermuda has all their support ults up.
I feel like Rolf has to go full hero mode here, where the most likely person can early pick off, it's Rolf, right? Where Rolf may be picking off Pizza Demon, and then still has to land a good Transcendence after, because other than that, what else can Legion do?
The Legion just do not have a lot in the bank. It's all going to be based off this sustain. Water getting the rally to keep them in the fight. They cannot lose anyone. His Panker's so hurt.
And they have to transcend very, very early here. If this fight goes on even for a little bit, Guru's going to have another grab, and that's going to be the finisher. Legion drained on ults, looking to grind this out to somehow get a good rotation. Instead, Bishu going to be knocked to the ground. It's early shot from Umte, but Ultimate Weapon caught out.
And look at Umte. He's on the ground. He's rotating. He doesn't have shatter. He's out of this fight.
And while he's out of the fight, you see Legion feasting on top, able to find Guru. Guru now doesn't have the grab. That was their cleanup setup that they needed. Umte falling in the corner. Legion have somehow brought this back in their favor. The pickoff so decisive towards the end, and it's an overtime, but better late than never. Legion get the second point here on Hanamura.
And that is the danger of Hanamura second as a Reinhardt. As if you get knocked down lower, it's also why you can see such incredible recontest from spawn sometimes. If you can get those heroes lower onto that low ground, they have to rotate all the way up the stairs to come back to point, and they're out of that fight if they don't have any movement abilities. You know, it really is surprising. I mean, you think it's the type of thing that a hero could just reach out and climb up over, especially with, you know, rockets attached to your back. But no, I mean, it's taller than it looks. You have to walk all the way around. No, Reinhardt cannot parkour. He can't leap up, because if so, he'd be a much better hero. It is true. No, Reinhardt, gravity, his eternal foe, to put it mildly. So, still a good defense from Bermuda, something that you can be happy for. I mean, teams often do get through both points. If they're able to get through the point B with 1 minute and 1 second left on the clock, essentially they will have near guaranteed themselves a win here on this map. Now, they can't draw. They cannot draw. If they draw, it's incredibly bad. So, a draw for Bermuda, of course, means Legion win the series, and Bermuda is officially gone without any miracle scenarios, though, again, realistically,
I think Bermuda could reverse sweep here, and it's pretty unlikely that they get in the playoffs at this point. Because that would just require Montreal to just have a pretty tough game later in the day. Same with Uprise.
Shu watching a little bit of the virtual ping pong there, or I guess just pong would be the term, because the pongs already exist.
It looked more like ping pong. It looked more like a block breaker game.
You think so?
I don't remember what it was called. Like, I don't remember what the
I didn't look at the game too much. I didn't look at the game too much. I'm not gonna lie. It looked like ping pong to me.
I mean, it's ping pong-esque, but with blocks being broken. But regardless, we're heading on in here. It's gonna be Bermuda on their attack.
On the triple DPS. Here, going to try to get a lot of early point pressure.
Feeling much better.
His ultimate weapon's going to be on the Tracer, Shu on the Sombra, so there's a lot of ability to be mobile for Bermuda. There's a lot of ability for them to pressure point.
Meanwhile, for Legion, they're just going to be looking to play the 3-3 solid, to be focusing on the objective and punishing anyone that goes to contest. But it's tricky because they don't have a lot to really do damage to Guru here. Guru has a lot of free reign to just throw in rockets and keep the Legion back.
See that right now. He's getting a lot of early poke. Bermuda's still trying to contest. He's alone! Is he getting healed right now? Pete didn't even know. Getting the frag.
Yeah, well, that's going on the other side. Ludi's going to fall. Both teams down one. But that bodes well to a degree for Bermuda. You'd like to trade out more as the offense. If they can get even just one more, Legion might not be able to bring it back.
As long as they don't get picked right now, they can dance around the point, just continue to poke. You see Rolf very low. The barrier is broken for Panker.
Yeah, the barrier's broken. Means he can't protect Rolf. Rolf ends up falling, and it's just too much poke damage in for Bermuda. Legion never able to find the opportunity to dive in on Bermuda. And as a result, it's all but inevitable. Bermuda should be taking this first point and doing it rather quickly at that.
So now Bermuda capping first. Can move into second, I think very confident. They're going to have their triple DPS ult soon. They'll have, well, maybe they won't, because I'm assuming that ultimate weapon is going to be swapping then, if that's the case.
I don't think
they're going to go Sombra Goats? Yeah, Sombra Goats. There it is. The Sombra 3-3 is out. They do have EMP available. The ultimate will probably be swapping off the Tracer. Yeah, going back to the Zarya. But they still have a win condition with the EMP, with the Trance as well, to sustain them, to keep them alive.
I think this is really smart for Bermuda right now to swap to this because, again, they only need one fight.
They only need one fight. In fact, if they wanted to, they didn't even necessarily have to commit, but they are. There's grab, Bishu, defensive bomb.
Yeah, already with two. Bishu's defensive bomb, though, so big. Flipping Guru there could be the difference between holding and not. Gotten rid of a big source of damage here for Bermuda. They force out the Transcendence. That Pizza Demon. Full respawn's coming for the Legion, so they've lost water. But now they're looking for the pressure on the Shu on the other side. They're going to force him to translocate out. Ultimate under heavy pressure himself. They're looking for the boop off. Not quite going to get it, but Legion buying time. And now they transcend themselves. And they're going to roll directly into Bermuda. Shatter or no?
There's the pin as well from the Shatter. This is just cleanup frags, though. For Legion, they win the fight. But I think Bermuda have to be happy. Shu has EMP.
That is outrageous.
They have to be happy about that.
It's
EMP
it's like so Doha has arrived onto Bermuda and is smurfing. That's a really quick EMP build.
But Luddy does have beat. And Panker's about to have a Shatter of their own, of his own. So it's very important here for Bermuda, since they don't have, necessarily a lot of win conditions. They have to be worried of the Shatter for Panker. They need to be extremely worried of it.
But on the flip side for Legion, they have to, I'm not even sure they realize there's an EMP up. Like, you can ult-track all you want, but you don't expect an EMP in back-to-back fights in most situations, and he immediately EMPs. They dive in after that. Panker can't drop the Shadow while he's hacked, and I do not think Legion was prepared.
And Shu commits into spawn. He drops off the high ground after not getting punished and gets Rolf too. That pick is so important there. Not just the EMP being good, but him catching Rolf as he rotates the spawn.
Bermuda on easy cleanup right after. Panker comes back in, drops a Shatter, but not going to amount to anything. As Bermuda, they've done exactly what they need to do here. They're going to be giving themselves over 4 minutes for their attack that they only have to get 33% on. It is extremely likely now that Bermuda takes it.
Very, very smart swaps for Bermuda, swapping to that Sombra Goat style. And also, just as importantly, Shu's play on Sombra, his individual play, building that EMP so quickly, getting value from EMP.
And the interesting thing about it is that, obviously we've been doing a lot of streaming and talking about OWL games in recent memory, so we've been more thorough in going over the strengths and weaknesses of teams. And one of the things that continually pops up, even at the Overwatch League level, is, you know, the struggle for off tanks, right, is that you can have an off tank that's really good at Diva, but can they bring a good Sombra where, you know, you see it where a player like RCK, right, like more comfortable on the Sombra, or you see it in a player like Space where he's clearly, there's a huge divide between his Diva skill and his Sombra skill. Right now, Shu, I mean, get you someone who can do both, and that's what Shu's doing right now.
Shu is looking very, very flexible, very strong on both of those extremely meta important heroes for the off-tank role. I imagine Bermuda might just run the triple DPS here again, not only because it was successful, but because the longer the time you have, for only a tick as well, the better the triple DPS strategy is with the Sombra. Because you just need one tick, right? You can just poke and poke and poke, build EMP, get ult, until eventually you just have the perfect fight.
Yeah, I think running out the EMP here for Bermuda makes perfect sense for the same reasons that made sense for them to run it on the point B attack. If all you need is one good fight, you're eventually going to get it with EMP, so long as your Sombra is at a certain requisite skill.
Oh, as you say that, they are running back to spawn.
I think it's because the Ana on the other side, they don't want to give Water the potential for the greatest nades of all time. And, I mean, that's the other thing we've seen, too. Teams, when they figure that Sombra's going to be a thing, they do run Ana.
Ana is also strong against the Fair Mercy, too, so it gives you a lot of extra sustain. As you see Bermuda, they're rotating around through the flank. The thing about the Ana right here, and not having Brigitte, is that it's a little bit tougher to stop these rotations. As you see Panker jumping up. He already has Primal. He already has Primal.
That's outrageous.
That is an extremely fast Primal.
That is one of the quickest Primal builds I've ever seen, and I got news for you. Panker's also one of the most mechanically skilled people at getting value out of Primal, so Bermuda, their next 20 seconds is probably going to be getting sent off the ledge. Or no, it's just a quick engage against Pizza Demon. Legion, they might not have to burn anything here at all. Bishu's going to get D-maxed, but I don't think that's going to cause the fight to go one way or another. But they've at least caused Panker to lose his cool. Primal almost falls off the side.
This fight is taking a lot longer than it really should for Legion, but this is great. This is great for Bermuda, though.
Well, on the same note, the fight taking a long time is also good for Legion, where they have to drain a lot of clock to force a draw and guarantee them the series here, and that was a pretty long fight.
They did get the Primal out of Panker. They are going to be coming up on the triple support ult that they have available, because remember, no Brigitte on the field. You know, it's interesting, when I look at Bermuda's comp, I don't think it's objectively wrong, but when you know that there's no Brigitte, it gives you even more of an incentive to run more DPS heroes against this style. You see now the rally in for Ultimate Web.
Rally set up here, Bermuda heading on in, and this time they isolate Panker. Panker's not going to get another lightning-fast Primal Rage. And with Diva being down, it's all over but the crime. It's going to be Bermuda rolling forward, getting point A here, and keeping this a series.
Definitely. Now it's just clean up. There's the beat from OG. Dalton down, grabs solo onto Ludde. This is clean up here. Bermuda taking the map off of an incredibly good offense.
You know, sometimes in casting, there's a moment where it's like, do we want to call this early? And it's like, you've lost both your Winston Diva and nothing's happened to the other side. Yeah, it's probably over. It'd be over 99.99% of the time. There's that 1 in 1,000 chance, but that wasn't going to be it.
That is, and Bermuda looked great on that map. They especially, it looks like really the crux for them is if Shu can just do Shu things. If Shu looks great, I mean, not just does he get value out of Diva, but when you can put him onto the Sombra as well, it looks like when they're able to exploit his flexibility, then they're in a great position. And that's the sort of the value for 2CP for teams like that, is being able to be flexible.
Yeah, I mean, again, even if Bermuda doesn't bring this back, I'm looking at this right now and Shu and going, get him onto an academy team immediately. It's an insane performance coming out from him right now, particularly in this meta where, again, not every off-tank can play a good Sombra. Not every good Sombra can play a good off-tank. And Shu right now is doing excellent at both, and that really deserves to be commended.
Having that flexibility on Assault is so important, too. Yeah. Because Assault is one of those maps, is one of those game modes where, you know, you can run a linear style and you can run what is considered the most meta, but it gives you the options, especially on defense and, you know, that first points offenses, to change it up, to make something different, and then force the team to, you know, rotate when their second lose ults. So it's really valuable to have a player like Shu.
Yeah, and I mean, for Bermuda, the rest of the team has definitely been playing markedly better as well. You look at players like Umte, right, where Umte and Guru have been solid, reliable pieces here for Bermuda. And that's why, as we go into it, that's why we set the half. It's 2-0, but it's been a closer 2-0 than the score indicates. We knew that it's possible that Bermuda could take a map here. They do just that. And who knows? We could be going to map 5.
We could, actually. I think that the one problem with Rialto that they're going to run into is that They can't utilize Shu probably quite as much as the Sombra as they would like if they have that in their belt. If they were thinking about it. Rialto sort of forces you a little bit more into a standard 3-3. So I imagine they won't be playing it as much. It's not that it's impossible, but I imagine they won't be playing it as much.
So, heading into Rialto here. And, you know, for Legion, Legion's just looking at this game almost certainly saying, you know, A, they probably didn't think it'd be anywhere near this hard. You know, if they looked at the last match that went on, they probably blamed Uprising more than anything else, as most people did. And, you know, they're looking forward to their playoff matches, but this could be a big wrench in their plans, seeding-wise, should Bermuda be able to take this.
Legion probably just looking and feeling increasingly worried, obviously, because you don't want your standings, you don't want your seedings to be shifted when you have a relatively decent seeding. It's going to be Legion on the offense first. Water going to be on this Bastion, probably just to spam out of the spawn, clear any of the close holes from Bermuda. I doubt he'll stay on it.
Yeah, and usually Bastion here is just a, you know, please stop being close to us. It also is pretty good if they're literally at your front door, which in this case Bermuda isn't, but you know, to that point, Water is heading back, not swapping. But there's always this window, right, where you know the Bastion is swapped, and then the other team just comes back out on in. And sometimes you can catch teams in a 6-on-5. Yeah,
they weren't able to catch them there. Now Legion moving forward with this engage. Oh, OG so low.
OG took a lot of damage looking for that boop. Almost cost him his life, and certainly causes Bermuda to back up a little bit here. But still decent contest coming out here. But now the problem is they paid the price on the other side as Legion continues to push forward, and losing Shu early is a very bad detriment.
Right now, Bermuda now, they're just committing to the fight, but Dalton is down. With Dalton down, there's still a huge damage advantage for Bermuda.
Well, Dalton out of it, and yeah, Bermuda's starting to fight this back. And oh, Panker goes for the early shatter and gets nothing. Just completely blocked out, and that's an even bigger loss for Legion.
And that's fine if you lose OG there at the end of the fight. As Umte has the craziest charge of his life. Oh, they have to commit rally to get him out. There's the bomb as well.
Save Private Umte is the name of the game here. Bermuda, they have to commit directly at the spawn door. The shatter, Gibby coming down, knocks out 2. Water's out of the fight. Bermuda, I don't think they wanted to go that deep, but it still might work out for them here in the end.
And oh my goodness, he's stuck. He's stuck.
He gets away.
Oh no. Well, sometimes you live by the bumper, you die by the bumper, and that's what happens there.
The rescue mission was almost there, and he just gets stuck on a corner off a boop in from Lude. And now the Legion have a great fast break here at the point A.
I mean, that was a really nice flashy looking forward hold there from Bermuda, but they let Legion back in because of it.
Legion looking revitalized here. Graviton Eden! Dalton's grab! Shu all over it. The beat was used by Bermuda early. Now they transcend. Umte gonna drop a shower zone. Knocks down 3 on the other side. Lude
lost beat! I think he lost beat, didn't he? Or was that beat ending?
Not only did they lose beat, but the self-destruct was so set up by that shatter. Devastating from Bermuda.
That was incredible. I am fairly certain. I don't think I saw Lude beat. I saw OG get the beat off, but I did not see Lude's beat. I'm pretty sure he got stunned out of beat. That's huge. That was a huge play. Despite what many could look at as almost a throw from that first hold that had hold into spawn from Bermuda. Coming back in now, they do have the rally, they do have another grab.
Legion gonna be heading back over. It's been a rough go for Panker and finding a chance. Immediately though, drops the shadow, and this time, redemption. 3 on the ground. OG cannot get away. Bermuda in trouble. They're gonna try and grab to equalize here. They move in off the grab. Umte able to find Lude, so they do equalize. Transcenso in from the Legion. They still have more sustain. They have a grab of their own. The bomb making space as Dalton is microwaving on the right side. And now Legion, this should be point A.
And now because of these staggered fights, there's no way that Bermuda can recontest. There's going to be a flip. I think if you're Bermuda, though, you're probably... I mean, he was hoping to catch him with the pin, I think, and then he just flies off the map. He knows he probably couldn't get out. Guru now going to be committing himself to the water. But I feel like if you're Bermuda, you have to maybe kick yourself a little bit for Guru committing the grab when the fight really wasn't looking winnable. You would like to have a grab now where Legion are holding the high ground, they have a grab of their own, and you won't have anything really to stop it.
Now, for Bermuda, I mean, your first key here is going to be trying to retake this position because it's one of the most powerful defensive positionings in all of Overwatch. Trying to get through a defensive setup here is tough, and Legion, because they're pushing the payload, they can't actually stay up there, and ultimately able to find Panker. Bermuda just uses the train to their advantage. They lose OG here, but still 5-on-5. They're going to force the grab here out of Dalton. Legion looking for a fall through, and Umte gonna be dropping the shatter again, knocking down multiple members of Legion. And Umte, remarkably solid here.
I mean, Panker's back. He drops a shatter from Bridge, but the fight's over, Panker. He was hoping he could peel, but all of a sudden is you now have no shatter. And Bermuda just going to maybe clean him up. It will, however, force Bermuda to back up a bit. They can't forward hold because they did lose some player. But his charge gets interrupted. They could catch Umte.
Umte versus Terrain, his mortal enemy.
His mortal enemy.
And
he dies.
I mean, really, Umte is fearing Rialto's geometry more than he is
This is why geometry is truly powerful. We no longer have scatter arrow in the game.
It's not simple anymore.
It is not simple. This is advanced geometry here.
Oh, man. And I will say this for Legion. Panker's shatters have been just the most variable thing ever, and not really to his benefit.
As you see, rally engage, traded for both teams. They're starting to be using the beat. They're out from Bloody.
Barrier in from Bermuda. They decide, you know what? We do want to dive in and engage this. Legion had tried to back up, but Water cannot rotate himself to a better position. And it's a full-on retreat for Legion's. Bermuda going to be able to get back into that nice defensive spot and get a few staggers on top.
Bermuda coming back in there. Did have to use the beat, but they traded. So they have to be feeling confident with this defense right now, ZP. I think that they know they're ahead in the grab war right now. They're going to be holding close, looking for grab potentially for Guru, forcing that early transfer rule.
Legion, final opportunity to make this offense work. Bermuda working with a decent advantage themselves, holding here and back. See what the Legion does.
Look at Bishu's positioning right now. He's going to try to boot someone off, boot them forward, as because of that, ultimate weapon so low.
Graviton in, Panker dropping the cash out, this time going to be knocking 4 directly to the ground. But the displacement from OG, who wasn't hit, stopped Legion from falling through. In fact, they overextend a bit. Water's picked off. Panker in a very tough spot, down to 100 HP and down. Bermuda holding them off even after a 4-man shatter.
And this is maybe, I mean, it is one fight potential for Legion. They can come back in, they do have bomb, but it's going to be extremely close. They're going to have to people guaranteed dedicated to touching the card here for Legion.
Final 10 seconds, the Legion. Who,
I think Bloody's going to have to climb wall.
Yeah, I think so.
You see, they move in here. There's Lude. He's in the skybox.
He has floated his way over. We are in overtime, and Lude gives his life for the cause. Graviton gonna be connecting here from Dalton. The Legion, not really a good spot to fall through. Bishu, the bomb to the back on a whim and a prayer. Totally gonna be blocked off. Shield taking some damage for it, but Bermuda, they're okay with it. Now they're gonna drop the beat. They're gonna look to engage the other way. Rally out here from the Legion. Panker under heavy fire. Is Panker gonna fall? He does! The focus fire is there. Bermuda, they lose Umte in reserve. Both teams down on Reinhardt as the Legion desperately try and hold on. The Graviton from Guru, though, out. And letting Bermuda finish out the last part here of the fight. The Legion, they fight tooth and nail. But hang on, there's still a little bit of pressure coming into the fight. Dalton says it's not over here just yet.
And now
Guru comes back in, and yeah, it's actually over.
And now it is.
What a hold.
That was a very, very good hold from Bermuda. They just found continuous value from their grabs. They were able to just win the war a lot of the time. The Rhine War, once again, Panker is another map where he's just, you know, like you talked about, he's either great shatter or nothing.
Yeah.
And sometimes just a feed.
And unfortunately, for a lot of the time, it was nothing where I don't know what's going through Panker's mind right now in terms of going for these shatters where, I mean, yeah, okay, you could say he's part channeling Spirit of Bumper, but even Bumper doesn't go for some of the crazy aggro shatters that Panker is as reliably as Panker is. And yeah, when he hits, it's been great. He's been knocking 3, 4 on the ground, but he's been also just been throwing shatters in the shields and also throwing away shatters in situations where Legion is generally already lost.
So now, you get in here to the offense for Bermuda. This is their chance to equalize the series, take it to map 5, keep themselves in that playoff contention.
No Bermuda for the offense. Unfortunately, I don't think the Ashe is particularly likely to be coming out here, but you never know.
No, I don't think Ashe is likely at all. I think it's possible because the Dynamite and Bob are pretty strong here for Rialto, but I don't think they're going to be using it. Bermuda, never trust the spawns. Just never trust the spawns. That's the mantra you should always repeat.
Yep, they basically exist to lie to us, even as they have developed infinite energy machine here via a spinning hamster.
So everyone making these swaps. Probably just going to be peeking using the Ultimate Weap's Widow here to just maybe remove Legion from high ground, get an early pick off if possible. Now going back to spawn to swap.
So, a little bit of swap off coming here. Bermuda moving forward. Legion under heavy pressure, really, to hold this at point A. They don't want to deal with point B because the odds of getting that long to hold themselves, not super likely.
See Legion holding this corner, trying to deny the space for Bermuda. As Bermuda rotate to the high ground, gonna look to drop, and then send Shu. Shu's really gonna be contesting the point here.
Bermuda going to the high ground, and okay, nice! Boop off the top, coming in from Lude. They put Umte in a rough
but they
spot,
lose it!
Yeah, they still lose the fight. Bermuda, they just collapse at the right time and punish Legion, even as they're chasing Umte.
Pizza Demon and OG there making some critical frags. Just getting that damage in, despite that displacement. So now Bermuda, they're moving in. They have Shatter add. They have ult add overall, and they're going to have just one more fight here versus Legion for first.
Yeah, and this is going to be, a fight that Legion can still move in and contest, but it's not going to be under the most ideal of positionings, is what I would say. So, Legion, for now, just sitting here at the payload. Bermuda still under pressure to make a move, and they're going to be making that move soon. Guru, Graviton up, Umte with the Earth Shatter, but already Ultimate is down, so is Panker. 5-on-5, Transcendence out here from the Legion as he gets scrappy on the point.
Umte, though, getting that Shatter keeps everyone on the ground for Legion, and then Guru's counter grab. Despite trading his life, this means Bermuda's going to clean it up. This should be the first cap. It is.
Well, not quite yet, and now it is. They're able to hold it back to the end. And Bermuda, they get through point A relatively quickly. Legion now must hold point B alone for 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Yeah, it's going to be tough.
That's a long, long time. Dalton will have grab up, Water will have the rally. So Legion have win conditions for the next fight. But the thing that, if you're Bermuda, you know how much time you have. You know your win conditions. And all you need to do is just remove Legions. Just play slow. Just get those ults out.
I would actually love to see Bermuda swap to the Sombra. If they don't get anything off the self-destruct here, I think going Sombra and looking for one fight would be ideal.
See now Legion looking to engage. There's the grab out for Dalton.
Graviton in early, Bishu dropping the bomb right after, and combo for Legion can be successful. But again, it's one of many that they need here. That's not going to be enough to secure the defense. And we'll see what Bermuda does as it slowly evolves.
I don't necessarily agree with Bermuda in, using the beat there, because, Bermuda's really their goal should be to just build up 6 ults and just have as many ults as possible, and while removing as many of the Legions. They did get 3 ults out of Legion though. They got Shadow, they got Bomb, they got Grav. Would have not, if they had a beat right here, I think it would have been a 1 fight.
Early self-destruct going to be moving out here from Shu. Gets 2! It's well set up, goes to the back, and Bermuda now going to be piercing on through. 1 fight away.
1 fight away.
Map 5.
And look how far away Legion is. They're going to be responding as the cart rounds the corner. They only have 1. I'm surprised Bermuda isn't stacking here. I'm surprised they weren't stacking for the triple cap. I think if they had stacked, they could have potentially already capped.
Is possible. And Umte, though, Shatter. Panker down on the floor. Lude already falling. He felt he needed to stall the payload, so Legion already had a big disadvantage. Now, they don't get any kills off the Shatter to the other side. But because Lude went over, they're still down 1 here. Bishu, though, isolates down OG. Panker shattering 2. And this time the Panker Shatter connects. It gives Legion more time. And we'll see if there's going to be a swap here for Bermuda.
And the questionable thing here for Bermuda here is that, they committed more ults in a fight on top of just not stacking the cart. Legion come back in for the recontest. They built up their combo again. They're getting close to Transcendence. We're getting into dangerous territory here, ZP. We're getting to the territory where Bermuda are just consistently staggering themselves, not using ults in an organized, disciplined manner, not getting those ults out of Legion, and they just slowly but surely bleed themselves dry.
I mean, I'd also argue, too, this is one of the hardest point Bs to get through in the game. You have to be very methodical. You have to not lose any people. It's very similar to the second point of many assault maps.
There, see Shu, exit. There's the grab out for Guru.
Graviton in early, but OG went around the backside, got caught. Panker just able to take him down early, grab or no grab. So the fall through there from Bermuda, entirely lacking.
And also, it was just a great grab from Dalton. Dalton catches them on the other side. He splits the Transcendence up for Pizza Demon. He's not able there to actually get the healing to the majority of the Bermuda team. While Bermuda's grab, Wolf's right there. He can heal everybody. They didn't split them at all.
Final minute 30. Now actually very winnable for the Legion. They could put Bermuda down here, dash the very, very slight slimmer of playoff hopes that could be still alive for Bermuda. Now we'll see what happens here on the high ground.
And Bermuda, I mean, once again, if they commit ult here in this fight, there's the bomb, there's the rally out.
Bomb over, Ultimate Web. Gonna be catching Dalton. Set up by the pressure, but Panker the other way. They're gonna be getting down Ultimate Web. Umte over and in. It's a lot bigger here for Bermuda.
Their combo play was much stronger there. That should be the cap. There's no one alive for Legion. Dalton coming up onto the Hammond. Probably won't be able to even touch.
Map 5.
Great play for Bermuda. Map 5 for Bermuda. And finally, they did it. And in a situation I didn't think they were even necessarily favored in, but there was a great bomb, a great rally in. They forced the split from Legion. Umte gets sent to the back, drops the shatter, gets them on the ground, allows for the cleanup. So eventually, they just threw themselves against that brick wall long enough. I didn't think it was necessarily the greatest throws in terms of ult usage, but they get value. Yeah, and in the end, what set this up here is that Legion has been a bit sloppy. I think they've actually gotten sloppier as the series has gone on. I think that Panker has just been this wild card that has been less effective for them than effective. And on the other side, a lot of consistent plays coming out from Bermuda. And, sometimes people think that, oh, you guys are just trying to hype it up. One side is dominant. No, we were serious when we said Bermuda could bring this back to 5. And they have done just that. And even if the most likely outcome here for Bermuda is that they only sabotage the Legion, it still makes them look really good, especially on an individual level to other teams that could be looking to scout. So for Bermuda, win or lose here at this point, I think that this has been a fantastic series for them. It's a good way to end the regular season. Yeah. I think it's always better to end the regular season on a strong note, have that sort of recency in everyone's mind when you think about the performance, especially against a strong team or a stronger team, than it is to just get stomped. Fully agreed. But now we're going to be heading into our tiebreaker map. It is Oasis, where this will be decided. Now, let's not forget that our first control map, it did go to the wire. It was a 3-round map. Legion looked pretty good at points, but Bermuda was able to fight it back. So now in Oasis, it does get a little bit trickier. City Center, highly vertical by comparison to our first map of the day. So is Gardens. Oasis, I would say probably the most diverse control map in terms of the terrains that it throws at you. Are going to move in here to our final map of the series, the tiebreaker here on Oasis. And based off that performance from Bermuda on their first control, that was when we, that was when we thought they were looking initially their strongest was on that first control map of Lijiang. So Bermuda had to be happy, especially as they've improved throughout the series, it looks like, or maybe just, move themselves up to the point that they want to have, that we're back on control for the final map. Well, not only that, but particularly, I mean, you think about the mental coming into this as well for Legion, where I would be shocked if Legion went into this game expecting the fight that Bermuda has given them here. I don't think that was really on their mind. Definitely not. Legion also going to be on the triple DPS with Wolf on the Ana. Bermuda playing a standard 3-3 with Ute on the Winston. So, Panker on his favorite Hammond here to the high ground. Legion just looking to make this a chaotic DPS-centered fight. And in the chaos, Shu falls first. They definitely put more focus fire onto him than the others. So now Bermuda having to back up. They're caught in this corner, but Water doing so much damage. Wolf is down, though. But Legion's overall positioning is still pretty solid. And they might get first cap here. No, Bermuda, they get over to the point just in the nick of time. They don't want to give up first cap early, but they lose ultimate weapon as they contest it. Water! Water is uncontested. No one is looking at Water as on the far end. He's getting rocket after rocket. He is doing some very, very flashy stuff there. The sleep repeats him and absolutely huge, but I think the fight, it's not done just yet. But Water's just done so much damage and Dalton's cleaning up. Yeah, also he got woken up immediately. It was a quick nap and then he's back up. And Legion right now being methodical in taking down player after player. First point control almost certainly going to be going their way. And for Bermuda, what do you do against the setup, especially knowing that an EMP is going to be heading your way? Split. You just need to split. You need to make sure that, either Shu or maybe Umte are taking the brunt of this EMP. Pizza Demon will have Nano, and we've seen Nano be used extremely effectively as defensive with the Water. He's hiding, there it is. Is ready, all set up, but the Diva's in his face. It's just press Q to respawn. But Dalton equalizes, gets a pulse bomb onto Ultima Web, and this is where a Tracer can be so deadly as the fight starts breaking down. Dalton, Unchained, 20 HP, does need to back up and get some healing.
but Legion apply enough pressure to give time for Water to get back on over.
Okay, now committing very deep. Wolf's gonna go down to the dive. They still has the primal. This is a good recontest. There should be a recontest for Bermuda. There's not a lot alive for Legion.
Dalton still buying a lot of time. You have Water that's back into fight now over on top. Theoretically, a DPS comp could bring this back because even though Legion has been suffering losses, they're still applying good pressure. They're still in and around the point. Bermuda has not quite done enough retake.
They still haven't. They also have to commit the beat here. OG using that beat to fight. Still out on point. Guru committing grab. Panker going down. Slowly but surely the fight is still breaking down, but it's not done yet.
Well, this is the danger of City Center, and also why DPS comps can be so good on City Center is that actually, evicting all the DPS heroes from this point is easier said than done. And Dalton now starting to bring it back with Bishu on the outskirts. Bermuda starting to stagger.
Dalton and Bishu have been such a menace against Bermuda right now. Water, another barrage up. He's getting pressure by Pizza Demon, but Letty's still with him. And Bishu getting close to another EMP. The bomb's out.
It's an anti-air bomb and actually ends up catching Rolf. Doesn't get the intended target, but still, Shu can be a little happy for it. But the problem is, Legion, they're just so aggressive in the back. They do too much.
Bermuda gets the flip, though, somehow. They do manage to get the flip.
They get the flip even as everyone's falling is kind of the problem there. Legion just decided to prioritize winning the fight because they sensed it was close.
So now Legion gonna flip it back. And Bermuda, they're in their last fight territory. They're gonna have to stream back in here. And Bishu and Dalton have been such an unbelievable menace for Bermuda right now.
And, you think back to Dalton when he made his fame in Contenders going back to last year. He did on Tracer, so this is Dalton's home, so to speak. He gets to go back to where he's used to be comfortable. Almost blows himself up with the Pulse Bomb, but that's okay. That's why he got rewind. He was able to get out of there. Guru gonna fall.
And look at Umte. He's asleep on the high ground. The Nano completely wasted, and all this time he's asleep. He's hacked. He's not building Primal.
No, it's not in the All East. Ultima left isolated by 4 people. Nowhere that he can go. Dalton, 15-player kill streak, just continuing to roll forward and over Bermuda as this aggressive offense from the Legion is likely now doing enough to take the first round.
This should just be a kill onto Umte very soon. Guru's back. Won't have grab just in time. And Legion, Bishu and Dalton were just unkillable. They were just unkillable. Bishu's EMPs, they started out kind of meh, but he just got value hacks all the time. Even if he wasn't getting great EMP plays, he was getting extremely value hacks and great frags.
And also, again, just good to see a return of vintage Dalton where, it's enough in the past year that a lot of people may not remember, but Contenders Season 1 of last year, Dalton and Nero were an absolutely tremendous double DPS combo, and, Nero off of that was able to get in the Overwatch League. Dalton, unfortunately, had some struggles later in the year, last year for Contenders, but Dalton looking more like his old self.
I'll move it in here to the Gardens. For Oasis, both teams running the 3-3, but something to note is that Wolf is on Moira as opposed to that Zenyatta. So Legion are going to looking for this early engage, maybe even go back to spawn to swap. Because the longer the fight runs, the better it is for Bermuda to do that Discord damage due to the the ability to just get rid of those cooldowns and that health. And actually Legion making the swap. Getting Baker on the Rhine.
Putting him on the Rhine here, and yeah, I think for Legion, they're just more comfortable deciding to run a ground pound here, even though I think the Winston Mirror is actually pretty good for them. They decided to go with this approach. Bishu under a lot of pressure here early on, and Legion kind of split here. I don't like how they approached this.
And Water getting booted off the map, that is definitely not the best approach you could have. Especially was Panker on the ground that entire time?
Yeah, he never even tried to go to the top. It wasn't a boop off or anything. That's why it was just weird. It felt like maybe they called to go ground. Some people went top, and if you're going to run Rhine, you can't be that split.
You definitely can't. The only thing I can think of there is that Legion were hoping to boot people off the high ground. But if you're going to do that, you don't send the majority of your team high ground. You just send like maybe a D.Va, maybe a Lucio.
I think Panker was really considering swapping Winston there. Like, I think the Winston play actually would make more sense, but the call for Legion has been the Rhine comp, and we'll see if they can make it work.
With the Rhine comp, they're definitely going to be looking to focus to prioritize the point here. Gru taking a lot of early damage. A boop off the high ground for Bishu, but early DMAC.
Bishu just got obliterated. Goes to the top, everyone focuses him, he's down. And I understand that, the appeal to a Rhine setup here, but I don't think the Legion know how to go in properly with this right now. Their engages have just been quite poor.
Yeah, they haven't quite figured out how they want to take the engage. There's the rally out from Water, though. There's 2 people down for Legion. He's going to keep everyone alive, but the rally was essentially only used to just stop any further frags. it was in a way wasted.
Bermuda remarkably solid this entire time, but I mean, what do you say when you're watching a boxing match where one fighter is just continually punching themselves in the face? That's what Legion's doing right now.
Okay, on the point, just dropping the bubble to sustain, to contest, still has that primal. There's the rally from Overwatch, keeps him in the fight. This primal coming out very soon.
Say, using the primal graviton, setting it up. Legion desperately trying to take this fight, but Shoes bomb. Gonna be finding 2 off the setup from Guru. And it's Bermuda. Absolutely decisive once more, and Legion down to their final fight. And I gotta say, this has been tough for Legion, but they have enough ults that you'd think they'd be able to take the next one.
Rolf now making a swap on to Ana, which is sort of a desperation swap, realizing that they won't have Transcendence in time. They need the sustain for the fight. Might as well swap Ana, play these sight lines. See Legion move to the point. They're really going to be hoping to set up Panker Shatter.
Graviton can be used here early. Bishu looking for the combo fall through. Bomb out, doesn't get much. Panker gonna be dropping Shatter. Doesn't connect onto anyone. Now note, Umte does die early, and Legion is kind of overpowering this fight via support ults. So it is likely they're gonna flip, but they've had to invest a lot for this fight in Bermuda. They're gonna have so much time for just one more good fight.
They have so much time, and despite Rolf making the swap on Ana and making it work there, they're really gonna have to hope to get value from Nano onto Panker in particular, or maybe even Bishu to hunt, but since Umte's making that swap, he can't even hunt Winston anymore. So it's all going to be based off the Nano value onto Panker in a lot of these ways, while PT didn't build up Trance. And Trance, objectively, it gives you more. It just gives you more value. So very interesting to see how Legion make this Ana work.
Probably going to be coming out here from water. Legion must be perfect from this point forward. Panker eating quite a bit of health damage here. Shield still okay. Meanwhile, on the other side, it's Umte that is Shield under a lot of pressure here early on. Moves forward, Shield broken. They just decide to swing at Panker, but it works out. They end up getting Panker. Panker ends up getting stuck in the wall, and Umte taking the snooze, but still totally fine. Graviton invested here by Guru, off on the other side, bit off camera. And off the Graviton, Bermuda's doing it. They're bringing this back. They're cleaning up the Legion, and this could be in a round 3.
And the problem there is, you know, Guru invests the grab, and they can afford to just take the fight and commit their Transcendence because they knew that Dalton didn't quite have grab and they were going to follow up. The Transcendence, you know, just means it can stay in. Panker zooms in, tries to drop the Shatter. Or I should say, Umte drops the Shatter on him, not Panker.
Yeah, not going to amount to much for Panker there.
The contest is still happening, but remember, they still have not, they can't win the fight overall. They're staggering onto the point.
Yeah, I mean, this would be, you're hoping for the miracle, 3 people booped off the ledge, just some type of turbo feed from Bermuda. But Bermuda playing way too strong for that to be the case. And I gotta say, that was a tough round for Legion, where their Reinhardt attempts to re-engage were just, from the very get-go, not well planned.
So now tied up 1-1. The final round of the final map of the series, and you know, Bermuda taking Legion to the edge, taking them to pretty much the limit.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting the Fusion University treatment right now, is what we're getting. Ironically, on a day where the Fusion University game
still
might not
play.
be fine. Yeah. So Legion, we'll see what they run here on University, and man, this would be surprising if they went out on max DPS comp on University, the stage that you can very easily run a super strong 3-3.
And they are.
And this is for real.
It is happening.
So 3-3 from Bermuda versus a DPS Ashe setup with Hammond from Legion. We'll see if it works out.
And once again, this is just going to be a lot of value that need to be gone from the Legion DPSs.
Bermuda swapping.
Just making the swap. I imagine Umte would go to Winston.
Yeah.
Pete's going to go into the Moira. Going to be sticking on the 3-3. Now they're a little bit better positioned to easily contest the DPS while also having the Moira that's harder to dive and can give you more sustain for these burst frags.
This is a very smart swap from Bermuda. It's one we see all the time. And they're able to get back on and recontest. They don't give up the point for free for their early use of the H key. Legion now getting pushed back a little bit. The dive pressure available here, but Ultra Web gonna fall. Both teams suffering losses, but with Wolf down, the healing for Legion is going to be a lot worse. Dalton isolated, down. And Bermuda, they're gonna get the first fight. I think that first swap was so good.
And Shu and Guru just continuing to just combine here and laser down the Legion players. Legion now, do they commit? They're 82% to EMP. They almost have Barrage.
Swap.
Yeah, making a full swap here. Not even going to attempt to use it. I think that is the right play. You recognize, especially since you more on the field, getting Wolf onto the Zen, you recognize early it's like, well, sure, we'll be behind an ult economy, but better to just lose this next fight and then overall Purge has a better advantage.
So the Legion DPS gambit doesn't really work out at all. Now the Coalescence getting beamed directly into their faces.
Where is
Heavy
water?
pressure though, Walton left down. Both Brigidas off on mystical journeys here. 4-on-4 for both sides. A winnable fight here for the Legion. They force the Graviton out of Guru at the very end. And even if they lose a fight now, that's not a bad exchange here for the Legion.
Oh, wow. The really late beat here for OG as well. I mean, Legions are not at the point yet, but this is just a huge man advantage for Bermuda. I don't think that beat was at all necessary.
No, it wasn't. Bermuda panicking a bit there. And now Legion have a real path back into the round. They might be down by 54%. But the arsenal they've built up should be good enough to take this next fight if they play well.
I'm surprised Pizza Demon did not go back and swap after using the Coalescence and winning the fight, just getting onto the Zenyatta. But instead staying on it, valuing the Coalescence.
Panker, I don't think there's a lot of surprise ways. Like, a nice boop! The boop off into the pit! And now man advantage for the Legion off it. Interesting enough, Panker doesn't land a great shatter, even with his counterpart down in the pit. But Umte is eventually isolated, and so is Shu. The disruption caused by Lude early on in the fight, going to be enough for Legion to get control, but Bermuda still ends with a lot of progress.
They do end with a lot of progress. They continue to build up their ults. And if Bermuda is watching it, they're knowing, okay, good. They make the swap on us in. I like that a lot. And B, they should know they have all the time in the world in terms of time bank. You need to just be getting ults out of Legion. You just need to be building up your combo. I don't think they actually even need to use combo. They can just use grab, build up another grab in the coming fights. Just get ults out of Legion should be their operation right now.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Legion fighting for their lives. If they lose this fight, it's likely the series over and a drop in seedings. And already, Dalton down. Self-destruct by Bishu going to equalize. 5-on-5 is both teams right now. Fighting tooth and nail. Transcend's already used here by the Legion. Panker holding on to the shatter, turns the corner, and he's going to be treating 3 to the pavement as Legion end up with the advantage here in this fight. And yet it's only 43%. They still have a long way to go.
They have a long way to go, and Bermuda did not at all live by the mantra of let's save ults and get ults out of Legion, because they committed a lot of ults in that fight. They don't have rally, they don't have beat, they don't have grab. I mean, they've used a lot. They even used their bomb. There's so many ults used for Bermuda there.
Certainly a lot was invested. Oh, Panker's so lucky. He was almost into the pit just from the boop and knockback. Umte, oh, not only hits the shatter, but knocks one into the pit. Water stuck over there. Bermuda should be going in. Bermuda should be going in off this. And now they do Transcendence, and Panker gonna be dropping a shadow of his own. Knocking down OG. They're looking for him on the other side. Both teams still 6-on-6. Ultimate's invested. Legion backing out. They get to restabilize. Somehow both teams still all alive. But Panker goes really aggressive.
Why?
Why? Panker just throws himself on the mercy of Bermuda, and that could be the series as Bermuda absolutely punishes him for what was only to be described as a wild shatter.
I mean, Bijou does get Shu in return. The Wolf is still in. Bijou gets Guru as well. Is Bijou just going to carry this on his back?
Bijou just like, I'm an Overwatch League player, I'm going to try. But trying might not be good enough. Panker is back into the fold. No shatter here. Umte tries to drop the shadow of his own. Not going to result in much. Legion, barrier out. Bishu going to emergency Hammond. Legion desperately trying to fight back. They lost control of the point. Bermuda in control. Dalton actually finds Umte. Emergency Doomfist striking deeply. And the Legion actually not done yet. Panker dropped the shatter. Guru in danger. Down he goes. And the Legion have actually
I cannot believe they won this fight. Bishu getting those crucial frags was absolutely monumental to keeping Legion alive. It's not quite done just yet because and then somehow Panker come back and hits hits his new random number generator and drops the shatter. So.
Yeah, I mean he ends up getting the higher number there. He's going full Mr. Game & Watch.
Sometimes he charges and feeds. Sometimes he hits an okay shatter.
Bermuda, final opportunity, overtime, map 5, round 3. They're rushing on over. Trying to keep life on side. The charge connects onto water. He's out of the fight. Bermuda up 2. Shu getting D-Mech. The Meteor Strike connects, but it's Bermuda with the heavy advantage. The Mines coming on out here, and it's Guru that's so charged up, carrying the fight here for Bermuda. Legion, they fall. It's Bermuda taking the series. Their playoff hopes, however dim, still shining.
I have to say, we just have to say it. The Panker charge.
Yeah.
The Panker charge,
That was,
CP. What?
It was like...
What? I know they were looking to recontest the point, but why contest the point in that manner?
It was like watching a car crash in slow motion. Both you and I had the same reaction, saw it midway. We knew the charge wasn't going to do anything. It's like, middle of the charge before he falls, bad idea. That was a doomed charge from beginning to end. And even though Legion was able to fight it back through some hero plays from Bishu, it still set up the end condition for their eventual loss, which was the case here. Now, of course, Legion, they're still in playoffs. Season not done by any means. But it does make the seeding consequences for them much more interesting, depending on how the rest of the day plays out. Bermuda, still technically alive.
Yeah, they are still technically alive. We were informed, I look back over, they require 2 teams to lose. They require both Uprising and Montreal to lose, but they are still technically alive.
And I'll say right now, I don't think Montreal is going to lose, but even if they're not in playoffs, what a mission statement there at the very end. If you want people to remember how you play, that's a good one to end on. But guys, there's still a lot of Overwatch left here today, and we have what might be the best match of the entire regular season. It's going to be Fusion University taking on BAM Academy right after this.